Brian has been, hanging around in various, places throughout the country trying to find, I mean, this is overtime and he's ready to head out again. And I'm just wondering if they'll have one of these before you head to Chattanooga.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yes. What is it we're looking at, my friend Randy
well,
Kirk?
I have heard from at least one or two sources, drive me, no, drive, the driven is one of those resources which posted to this. I think possibly Joe took the original shot, Dagmar. I'm not
Hmm.
sure.
I'm
But
pretty
anyway,
sure.
this is a possible Model Q, more affordable car, whatever name we're going to give it. And you say
And I say that's a Model Y.
it's just a Model Y.
That's a Model Y. I don't know what to tell you. The car behind it, look at the back windows, look at the front windows. It's the same car. That's a Model Y. Uh, what I say is, I don't know why they've put concealer on it. Maybe they've just changed the bumper and the front end to look slightly different. But in terms of form factor, it's the same size. I watched a channel this morning um, from a market that doesn't have seven-seat Model Ys, and he was saying that, oh, there's going to be there's probably going to be three different sizes of Model Ys. The normal one, the larger one with seven seats. Nope, that's the same car, my friend.
Size, yeah.
And you wouldn't know that unless you're in a market that has them. And a smaller one. It's like, well, boy, that is pure speculation. I don't see anything there apart from the camouflage that makes that anything other than a Model Y. If just the front and back have changed, what's actually changed? That would make it a very cost effective way to make a different model, keep everything inside the wheels the same and just change the things outside of it. But I don't see what's changed. Do you?
Well, this is a game that I'm very bad at. So the only thing that I would probably it's been said about me that I'm not very observant. Uh,
Wow.
I can't make great dis I'm not good at distinguishing, things one from another, which is why I have clever people like you on my
Hmm.
show, is
I
to
can't
help me.
see any differences. It
You're
looks like the side mirror might be missing the shroud, but I don't see I don't see anything here.
well, I'm going to stop the share.
Uh-huh. Stop the share, Randy.
Share. So that was it. Okay, so we'll see you next. No, I got
Yeah, it's all the time we have, folks.
yes. All right. So do we know any more from any other resources about the upcoming more affordable car? I know I did notice that that Sawyer Merritt did an interesting poll. When I do a poll, I'm happy if I get like 300 votes, and he got like, I don't know, 17,000, or I don't know, jillions and jillions of votes. And it was almost evenly split between those who think it's going to be a smaller version of a Model Y, a cheaper version of a Model Y, or a model, whatever it's called, a cyber cab with steering wheel and pedals. So I thought that was interesting. That it was almost evenly split.
Wow. Those people need to watch better sources because my goodness, there's no room for misunderstanding of that caliber. It's not going to be a cyber cab with a pedal.
No, we
We
know
know
that.
that. We know that the engineering isn't there. The the number of changes you would need to make to it are too substantial. I mean, it's everything from the cooling system, the wiring harness. There's no real estate inside the dashboard to handle a wheel and pedals. Well, you'd make it removable. Now you're into NHTSA territory where the airbag would have to be multi-purpose, non-compliant. No,
No.
it's not happening. And I still get comments like that, though fewer and fewer, thankfully. But yeah, what all we know for sure is that they are hiding something in Texas. If you look at the ground floor of the parking structure, you'll see the privacy fencing is still up. We'd originally thought that that was to conceal cyber cabs within. Then we realized that the cyber cabs were being stored in California. It wasn't that. Now, if you were going to build some kind of new car, you'd have to shut down for retooling, right? Even if it's just built on the existing lines, there'd still be some retooling. Wait a minute. Didn't they just do that? They've already figured out what this vehicle is. That's how they're able to get it out the first half of this year, is because they surely did the retooling at the same time as the Juniper tooling,
Mm,
which means, at least in theory, this could be coming out of all factories, but at the very least, three factories. Maybe
right.
they only have one in the US, but maybe they have both.
Yeah.
It could be that they shift Y and 3 production to just Fremont.
Mhm.
Well, Y production to just Fremont, and let Texas, which has more surplus capacity, make the other models. But at the very least, we know that the groundwork has been laid. And one thing I think we discussed before is, well, wouldn't we see it out on the road testing? And one answer is, if you test on the roads at night in Texas, especially between the hours of 2 and 4 a.m., there's nobody there to see it. Texas is a very big place. They have a whole lot of highway. You could very easily hide a vehicle that way, or just road test it in Michigan with camouflage and broad daylight. No one looks twice at a camouflage car in Michigan. Those are everyday occurrences. Nobody cares.
Right.
They genuinely blend in because they're so common. And if you really want to be sneaky, you put a competitor's logo on it,
There you go.
or just some words in Chinese that don't mean anything.
Right, right. Have we had any updates from any of the factories with regard to the Model Y production? Are we seeing any more units? Are we seeing any more car carriers? I know we've actually got deliveries in California. What else do we know?
Do we have customer deliveries?
Yeah, you had at least one down in Texas.
Oh,
Yeah.
neat. I know that I haven't seen deliveries. I know that what I've seen footage of is test drives are open
Yeah.
in New York and Austin. They are not yet open here. I've been reminding all of my reasonably close showrooms that I am looking for a local test drive, and they all assure me you'll be the first to know, which is their way of lying, because they never let me know. Their sales are their top priority.
Right.
I guess I'm not sales, so they'll figure it out at some point. At least, at least they're kind enough to grace me with complimentary water on my
There you
visits.
go. All right.
So that's worth something. They're being very tight-lipped. They're being successfully tight-lipped. I think Tesla employees understand the gravity of the situation. If you are caught leaking, it is the end of your road at Tesla. And because the industry is finite, it is possibly the end of your road at any manufacturer. If you have to explain that you were fired from Tesla, Tesla looks great on a resume, doesn't
Mhm.
look as great if you were fired from
Fire.
there for leaking information on an upcoming model that has the potential to materially impact sales in the interim.
Right. So what about I'm sorry, the Cybertruck? I think I saw Joe saying that there was quite, or you and Joe discussing maybe quite a lot of them coming out.
The volume appears to be quite reasonable. We don't know how many of those are going straight to customers versus being shifted around in anticipation of customers. You did ask a minute ago how Model Y, the ramp is going for the new Juniper refresh. And the answer is it appears to be going quite well. We are seeing a steadily increasing number coming out of Texas. I haven't looked. I know there's drone footage from, I think, yesterday or the day before from Fremont. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Um, I expect to see some junipers there as well. So yes, we know it is ramping, it is moving quickly, and I think what they want to do is get the line as up to speed as they can before these drop, so they can more hastily transition to the newer variant.
Ah, yeah. Okay. All right. And then I know for a fact I saw a video of you. I watch almost all of it with you and Joe Tegmeyer talking about the semi truck and a
Mm.
surprising number of those vehicles in the lot up in Nevada. Did I understand that right?
Yes, there were at least 20 that we could see. This was me and Mark from the Tesla Life talking
That's what I
about a
meant.
video from
That's what I meant.
from Zane. That's all right. From 𝐤𝐤𝐚𝐲. 𝐤𝐤𝐚𝐲 is the Tesla semi-advocate. I don't show his videos. I just show stills and encourage people to watch his videos. I did have one gentleman say, "Well, why don't you provide a link to his channel?" And I said, "It's in the description. I don't know what to tell you." But they're always there. There's always a link. Yes, there were 20 of them. Mark had gotten an email saying, "Hey, something in the sky to be on the lookout for next week," and we didn't know what to expect. And I think that's what we were supposed to see was 20 semis out on the lot, in addition to others driving around doing work. So it is my belief that the new factory is not yet operational, that they are uh, doing some higher volume work in the pilot line next door, making sure it's all dialed in so they can just package it up, move it next door, and get it moving that way.
Mhm.
And yeah, this will be the year when people really start seeing them on the road outside of Nevada and California.
Right, right, right. Have we heard anything new about more installations of, I don't know, what are we going to call these charging stations? That will be
Megachargers.
mega chargers. Have we heard anything more about more mega chargers, either Tesla owned or going into existing truck stops or anything of that nature?
No, we have not seen anything that indicates that there is a public rollout of megachargers because, and I did have a gentleman in the comments the other day say, this truck will never catch on because we haven't seen that. You can't do long haul without these being at truck stops all over the country. It doesn't need to be about long haul. There are millions of trucks on the road. They will be, if you're just dealing with the hub and spoke kind of deliveries that go from your facility to your facility, there are you could sell hundreds of thousands of trucks in to those customers before ever having to think about the long haul. And start where the application is easy. Go path of least resistance. That makes sense. That's why a lot of yard trucks are already electric, is because, well, we can build something, but it's only going to get 50 miles of range. How much do you need around the port of Long Beach
Right.
per day? Per day? 8? I don't know. Okay, well, this is more than enough truck for you. So that's just what they're going to do. The fact that it has 500 miles of range is fantastic. The fact that they're getting better efficiency than what was originally suggested at the unveiling. They originally said 2 kWh per mile. Now it looks like 1.6 to 1.7. That's a dramatic improvement, 15 to 20% improvement over what was expected.
Yeah.
That's great.
So what I'm fortunate to have three experts on megapacks. Bradford Ferguson, Brian Wong, and you, all three have done amazing work on megapacks. What do you think in Shanghai? What do you think that this is going to be a fast ramp, given the lack of complexity in the product, the fact that they've already done a complete ramp here in California? Or do you think this is going to still be, something that's going to take, some months to really get it flying along?
I think it'll spool up quickly. Bradford Ferguson knows Megapacks. Not only has he done on the ground reporting about them, but he's been modeling the business for years. He's got a very good insight. I haven't seen as much of what Brian has to say. Sorry, Brian W. has to say. Oh, that's still me. My Wangman. I don't know what he has to say as
You're
much.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody needs a good Wangman. But he's a very smart guy. And I have not seen him miss the mark on his analysis in the past. So I am confident what he's saying is at least mostly, if not definitely entirely on the right track. So what I would say is just look at what you know about Shanghai. They build quickly, they ramp quickly. Look at the auto side. From the time we started seeing cars rolling out of Giga Shanghai to the time they were more or less fully ramped was very quick, and cars are complicated. When they built the Model Y extension the following year, it was just as fast, if not faster, despite more localized parts. They know what they're doing. China is a factory. It is a factory first and a country second. Um, no insult to China. I'm complimenting their factory prowess. So I believe, what are the obstacles to ramping quickly? Well, they've got all the equipment, they've got all the machinery, they've got all the cells nearby, next door, effectively.
Mhm.
All of that's going to work. I'm confident that they will, move very quickly with that, and that they will certainly by the end of the year have a run rate that exceeds the Lathrop facility,
Mhm.
Lathrop,
Mhm.
and and that they will continue ramping from there.
Yeah, because at least unless we learn something later about other things that are going to go in that building, the size of the building would suggest they have way more than their stated capacity.
And they've already started work on phase two, the building next to it, the long skinny one. So whatever it is they wish to add in addition to that is going to go in next door. And I've heard so many crazy theories about what it could be. Yeah, just wait. Just wait. Um, my hope is that it would be, something known and profitable. Um, Somebody was saying, "Oh, they're going to build Optimus over there so that they can walk across the parking lot and build the Megapacks." I was like, "Boy, that's premature and
Premature.
weird."
Well, I mean, probably going to build Optimus somewhere in China. The question would be, is that something that is even, I haven't thought about that yet. We're getting really close to, having a pilot line. They might be producing Optimus on a pilot line now for all we know. So if we're getting close to a pilot line here, it wouldn't be crazy to start thinking in terms of beginnings of laying out pilot lines in Berlin and Shanghai too.
The problem with Shanghai is privacy. The same way the US doesn't want Chinese owned drones in the US
Yeah,
walking around inside our homes and businesses.
right.
China's also very hesitant to have foreign owned companies do that unless the data can't leave. And if the data can't leave, it has to train domestically. And in order to train domestically, they need a domestic data center, which they don't have. And there appear to be some obstacles to acquiring one due to some weird kind of international, you know, security issue. So I don't know that we're going to see bots rolling out in China in the near to medium term. I certainly don't think they would be rolling out simultaneously with the US and other markets.
So this morning there was a report of potential hangup with regard to FSD in China. That we thought it would be the second quarter, and now there's one report, just a single report, that maybe the Chinese are less confident that it's going to be in the second quarter, and that maybe this is a bargaining tool with the Trump administration and tariffs and all the rest.
I don't think it's a bargaining tool. I think it's just about security. I think China's very hesitant to allow data of that wealth, of that richness to leave their country. And I don't think there's anything Trump could say that would make them more likely to do it. And I don't think they could humanly be less likely to do it on their own.
So what do you think that means?
I think if the report, I haven't seen the report.
Okay.
The report sounds plausible. I could see a delay in the rollout. I could see FSD not being ready in China because it
Mm,
hasn't adequately trained on the driving style in China, which is very aggressive.
right.
It's like I don't know if you've ever taken a taxi in a place like Puerto Vallarta, but it's chaos. And that's what the roads are like in China. I'll be back in China in April for
Yeah.
the Shanghai Auto Show. I will share, firsthand accounts of all my adventures in FSD, of the various companies, the different products, all that.
Yes, I've been in chaotic roads in many, many places. I think the worst was probably my conversation I had with a cab driver in northern Spain, and the cab driver was going about 110 miles an hour in a 90 mile an hour, 80 mile an hour speed zone, and everybody else was too. And I said, well, I said, this is really weird. This is how they drive on the Autobahn, but but I didn't know they drove like this in northern Spain. He says, you ought to see it on Friday and Saturday night when everybody's drunk and going this fast. So other than that, yes, some very strange driving situations that we don't experience here very much in the United States.
You have to train on all that data. And I don't know if you know this, but the trains in Spain remain mainly in the plains.
With that in mind, I think we found a good place to end, unless you have anything else of monumental portion to share.
No, I think I should be punished for what I've done.
We will see you again, Brian, on Tuesday. Well, I'll see you again in 5 minutes. The folks will see you on Tuesday. As always, Brian, thank you so much. Oh, I should mention, follow him anyway. Anyway, on Future Aza. You're putting the wrong way. Well,
Oh,
maybe
really?
not.
On your screen?
No, on my screen, it's the other way, but it might,
I
who knows
see.
what it is on their
So
screen.
it's right
Because things
here.
get flipped.
Yeah.
I,
All right.
I don't know. Anyway, for you guys out there, it's been great talking to you. If I could close this thing, I'm always losing how to turn it off. We'll just keep going and going. Pause recording. There we